Michael Walker, Diamond Likes heading towards the lead, Gay Garland's with him, and then Savuka, also Country Class going up the centre to be nice and handy. They were followed by Deutsche Express, Dance in the Sun ahead of those, about 2 away behind those runners as they settle. Now we've got Swan Lake, Voxini back on the inside, a gap of 2 to Chesapeake. The Jewel and Flying Cope are next, getting back is Glazon, and so too is Raspberry Ripple and Liu. So as they run for the bend out of the back on the far side, 1,000 metres from home, and Diamond Like the big filly in front by a long neck. Dance in the Sun has got close to her, followed then inside them by Cheaty, drops back to third. Country Classes there, Gay Garland around them. They were followed by Voxini and Savuka, and just ahead of those, over on the outside of them now is Deutsche Express. It's followed by in between runners now, Swan Lake, Chesapeake trying to go around them. The Jewel is back, and so too is Glazon and Flying Cope and Liu, and Raspberry Ripple back with those. They run towards the home turn. In the New Zealand Bloodstock, 1,000 guineas, and the fillies line up, and Diamond Like the favourites in front. It's Diamond Like at the 400 out by 2 or 3 lengths and cruising. Here comes Chesapeake down the outside with a good run. Savuka's not far away. Dance in the Sun and the Jewel coming from the back of the field with a big run. South Island have hit the front here, and it's the Jewel and Chesapeake that come away from Vokesmith, and in behind those Voxini. At the moment with 50 to go, the Jewel goes to the line, and the Jewel wins the guineas. The Jewel, Chesapeake, Voxini, followed by Raspberry Ripple, Flying Cope, Dance in the Sun, then Diamond Like, and the next across Swan Lake, followed home by Glazon. About 3 or 4 lengths further back in the race, they were followed by Deutsche Express. Another 3 or 4 away, Savuka, Liu, Country Class, and Gay Garland and Cheaty. Well,
that was a nice win to the Jewel, and nice odds at the end there. It opened a lot shorter than that, 860 and 310, and the filly has now put 3 back-to-back, winning the Group 1,000 guineas today over Chesapeake and Voxini to numbers 15, 2 and 16.
The market is on this race. They're all trustworthy, these riders, but what would happen if, what would the stewards do if they didn't do their best?
Well, if they put on a one-goer, which they never would, but if they did and they didn't do their best, the stewards might say, you've got a 12-month suspension. They'd say, good, thank you.
Back next year. But Lester's on his way out. There's a good crowd too. Have a look at that crowd. It's a big crowd for the final day. And
how do the roses stay so beautiful for the whole week? My roses don't last 5 minutes.
You're asking the wrong person. But Lester Piggott, done it all, 11 times the champion jockey. He's had an interesting career, hasn't he, both on and off the course. It hasn't all been good stories, but oh boy, has it been anyone better. In terms of riding a racehorse, it's doubtful. Malcolm Johnston gave him the ultimate compliment.
In his 60s now, and the man's balance is as good as it was when he was in his 30s.
He dominated betting to such a degree. Whatever he rode in the Derby, just about started favourite for so many years. And he rode the best. He rode all the greats. Nijinsky was one of my favourites as a little boy. He won the Triple Crown, the 2,000 guineas, the Derby, and also the St Ledger. He's a fabulous horse and a fabulous sire.
He was so dominant, he always had the choice of about 6 or 7 horses for the Derby or the St Ledger or whatever big race was on in England, and he was a great judge of picking the one to be on.
The other thing I've realised over the years, when you interview him, he doesn't waste a word.
No, doesn't give you much, Lester, but then he never did.
Long fella, they called him. I remember he went to Adelaide and rode in an invitation stakes and got home. He tall for a rider, tall for a jockey, and particularly in the days that he was at his peak.
And he would have grown up in a time when it was tough for apprentice jockeys, and he had a bit of a speech impediment, and he'd have copped a hard time, and perhaps that's what made him such a tough competitor on the track.
Now, Takemi Sasaki there on Mr. Gorski, he rode to 59, over 7,000 winners. They say he's the best ever from Japan, and they've had some wonderful, wonderful riders in the past.
Yes, they have. Is it Take? Was their great rider at the moment over there?
Yes.
These boys, we call them boys, they're senior gentlemen now.
Well, Pat Hyland, who's been a successful trainer. Pat, Melbourne Cup winner with what a nuisance for Lloyd Williams. Vane was his great horse, and didn't Vane just clean up the carnival? I think it was 1969 from memory, where he just destroyed everything and everything. He raced in through the spring and through this carnival. Let's go down to John Letts, who I reckon wouldn't mind riding in this, Lettsy. I reckon you'd be getting a bit toey. You're with Pam O'Neill.
I've got Pam O'Neill here, and I tell you what, this is harder on Pam than coming back in the middle over the 800 metres.
And the Tim Martin Clients and Friends Australian Unite Plate. Can he win it, Timmy, with Little Jabot? We'll shortly know. Ready now. They're off. And the Penny Opera jumped away very swiftly and leads clearly on settling from Prestigic, and Bumptious, the favourite going fast, will lead clearly now, followed by Viator and Little Jerboa, then the top weight Air of Grace, followed by Dane Tana. High Maintenance drifting back, and Squish brings up the rear. They race down past the 900 marker, and Bumptious in front about a half to 3/4 of a length on Prestigic. 2 lengths to Little Jerboa, followed closely by Viator, and Penny Opera, who jumped well, has got back to 5th and is pretty wide out, followed by Air of Grace, High Maintenance. Over on the rails is Dane Tana, and about 2.5 lengths to Squish. Bumptious gets away coming down to the corner, and at the 500 she leads about a length or so, and Prestigic followed by Little Jerboa, bailed inside of Viator, and wider still is Penny Opera as they set sail for home, and Bumptious is the leader up the rise, a half length on Viator and Prestigic between them. Little Jerboa looking for the run, and then comes High Maintenance. Now Bumptious, Muntz has to shake up the favourite. Viator is threatening on the outside, and they're clear of High Maintenance, starting to work home well now. High Maintenance after Bumptious and Viator. High Maintenance going home by far the better, and High Maintenance draws away on the line to win it nicely from Bumptious and Viator. Then Little Jerboa, Dane Tana, Squish, followed by Air of Grace and Penny Opera, and Prestigic was last. Too good for them. Number 3, High Maintenance, Danny Beasley for Bobby Thompson. Gee, the Bob Thompson stable having a wonderful run. And the Secret Savings filly looking as though she's going to really relish 1,400 metres and longer as the time rolls on, proving a mile too good. At 8:30 and 2:10, and she'd had the 1 run back, and that was at Rose Hill behind Bumptious, and met that filly much better today, and stepping up 100 metres in distance, certainly proving advantageous. Waiting on the numbers to be semaphore. 3 will be the winner from 2 and 7. Number 2 will be second. Bumptious by Quest for Fame from Pert. A brown filly, a 3-year-old, Gay Waterhouse, Chris Munson. Third, Viator, and a very good race, a brown filly 3. Looks a good sort, Viator. She's by Snardee from Walk, Watch It Talk, Graham Rogers and Brad Pengilly. There they go now. 3-2-7. And number 4 was the official 4th there, Little Jerboa. A neck, a half a neck, 1:10.71, and the sectional time there was 35.66. Course record 1:08.36. Clark.
Than when I rode against him, but Malcolm Johnson just said to me, he said, I'll see you the other side of the winning post. You can bring me back. Don't worry about the horse. But gee, it's created a lot of interest down here, and you know they're very keen. There is a trip on the end of this for the jockey and his wife or his partner to Dubai. Good luck, Mal. Yeah. He wants me to go alongside him, Malcolm Johnson, with a water bottle.
So a terrific trip here for the Winning Connection. So Amanda called the race, and I bet she's looking forward to it. Is Wayne Wilson. Good luck, Wayne.
Okay, Bruce, thank you. This is wonderful, isn't it? There they are. They're moving up into the line. Mickey Gorham goes in. We're getting close to a start. Pat Highland in the light blue. What memories there'd be for Pat. Remember back in '69 on this day, he rode the Brilliant Vein to win the George Adams, the race we now know as the Emirates. Pam O'Neill, she's the princess of the turf. She's in the pink. Now there's Jason Weaver going in. Lester Piggott moves up into line. He's got the all red. And now here comes Takemi Sasaki, the Iron Man from Japan. Moves in, defending champion Derek Cruz from Hong Kong. And we're set to go. Ready? Hold on to your horses. Oh, little movement for Patrick. Ready? Racing, great start. They all bounced out of the gates. Oh, Pam's in trouble. Pam's in trouble in the early stages. He came out and he went high in the air. The Iron Man from Japan is showing a lot of speed. Derek Cruz began okay. Tony's just behind them there, the defending champion. Jason Weaver's moving up, and Mickey Gorham is showing a lot of speed. In fact, Mick's gone for the whip, but Jason Weaver's dashed away. Jason Weaver leads by a length or so. Mick Gorham pushing hard on his mount. Going up to third is Tony Cruz. Tony's chasing. Leicester's in a little bit of trouble. He's back behind them, riding hands and heels. They come down now with about 100 metres left to go. Jason Weaver's the leader. He gives him 1-2 with the Shillelagh. It's one for the United Kingdom. And Jason Weaver goes to the line to win. McGorham second. And Tony Cruz got third. Fourth in the race there was Lester Piggott just in behind them. Malcolm Johnston. And then Japan, the Iron Man from Japan, Sasaki. Pammy had a troubled trip on her mount because she began very awkwardly. And Patrick Hyland, one of the last over the line. Ladies and gentlemen, what a great race that was. Jason Weaver, one of the greats from the United Kingdom. He's ridden a winner on every track in the United Kingdom. He bounced him out. He went straight to the rails and he was cruising along out in front. He gave a polished display, and in that famous English whip action over the final 200 metres, he gave him 1-2, sent him to the wire. And Jason Weaver is our Emirates Airline Legend winner for the year 2002.
Jason Weaver, who rode in the Melbourne Cup on double trigger, and as Wayne has told us, has ridden a winner on every track in the United Kingdom, and there are a lot there. Now, the start, the Freedman trained horse on Pam O'Neill, I've got to say that it was a bit tight going in. And
he's just leapt in the air at the start. He's nearly knocked Pam out. It's amazing that she stayed in the saddle, but she has. And that naughty horse, Siberiad, he's given her a hard ride. And I tell you what, that sort of sums up our carnival, really.
6, 5 and 4. Didn't she do a good job to stay on?
I'll tell you what, he tacked on all right, the horse. You might back him first up if he leaves the gates.
Well, 6, 5 and 4 here with Jason Weaver, Mick Gorham, Tony Cruz. I thought Malcolm Johnston got home pretty well on the right of screen. Lester Piggott looked good all the way, but here's the style of Jason Weaver, as Wayne said, in that famous English style, using the whip.
He still looks pretty fit, Jason Weaver. He doesn't look like he's too heavy. So not only has he had a weight advantage, but the jockey might have a little fitness advantage over the others because he hasn't been retired for all that long.
Jason Weaver, the winner of the Emirates Airline Legends. A lot of fun and a real focal point now on the final day of the carnival. Well, we always think about the Cup, don't we? And what a Cup we had this year, the Tooheys New Melbourne Cup. Unforgettable day it was. The memorable scenes, the lasting images of Media Puzzle with Damien Oliver.
It's going to be hard to keep this together. Melbourne Cups don't mean a thing to me anymore. I give it back right now. I'll run it back.
$832.10 over Bumptious and Vieta. $830 Quinella, $26.70 exacta. $505 was the trifecta, and over $1,600 that first four. Now let's have a look ahead to the next at Flemington, counting down to the bigger ones on the day. 15 minutes away is race 5 on the card, and well, this is the feature sprint today, and this has got one of the best field of sprinters we've seen going around of late. Into the night, 100, Pembleton, Taymana and Suit, the top raters, 5, 2, 7 and 3. And as you can see, this is open. Into the Night is the favourite, and has had the one run in Melbourne, was A little disappointing, I suppose, at Caulfield. Having its first start there, didn't run too bad a race, went fifth behind the mighty Rubitano, and of course won brilliantly at Rosehill prior to that back in September. Pembleton also always goes pretty well, goes well on this track too, and a good third Caulfield first up. Bomber Bill's given a chance. He's racing in terrific form, this horse. The other one's Arrogance first up for Steve King. Always very good first up, very good fresh mare, and it must be a show too. Little Dazer, 14s, 9.40 about Taymana. It's a very good sprinter by Woodman. Michael Moroney trains and is fresh today. Third at Caulfield in the Tristar class start. Command Force unbeaten first up. 4 runs first up, 4 wins. You've got to throw it in. Peter Moody trains this 5-year-old by Celestial Dancer. And then further over, Sir Talak getting on in years. Long odds, and Prince of Play for Corey Brown, who won nicely at Rosehill last start. Jump in class today and is at $23. So they're the main ones there for race 5 on the card. We're going to go back to Flemington to Mark Guest, who's got Pat Cannon representing the Russell Cameron stables here. Let's see the thoughts of Pat.
And you've got a two-pronged attack in the Hilton International Stakes with Bomber Bill and Arrogance. Which do you favour?
Probably both my favourite horses actually, but Arrogance just loves the straight. You know, she's won quite a few times down there and just excels down there. And Bomber probably needs a jar out of the track to show his best. You know, he has a good run behind Spinning Hill at Moonee Valley, but he just didn't back up on Saturday. So he really needs a jar out of the ground. And saying that, Arrogance needs it too. So, you know, if there's a little bit of rain about, I think they'll both be in the money.
OK, well, it looks pretty fine, so no rain in the next 10 minutes, but not too good. Righto, let's have a look at the runners heading to the start there for the next event on the card at Morfordville. We'll take a break. We're back with more right after this on Sky.
Building or renovating?
Good race coming up at Flemington down the straight, 1100, the Hilton International Stakes. And Bomber Bill is at $7.30 and $2.50. Disappointed last start, but had run a very good second prior to that there at Moonee Valley behind Spinning Hill. 10th in the Salinger behind Rubitano at its next start. But kind of likes this straight course and will be pretty hard to beat here too. Pembleton, excellent chance, was third at Caulfield last start over the 1100. This one by marauding John Morrissey trains, of course, is lightly raced, 22 starts, 7 wins and 10 placings. And look further down to Suit, getting on in years, an 8-year-old now, but still racing with plenty of zest for John Hawkes and Woodland Stud, and always looks very well. Suit, Chestnut, by Procol Harum. Then going on to number 4, Arrogance, who was a very good fresh mare, and last raced in the winter months in August at Moonee Valley, won third, and likes this track too, and looks well first up. Then going down quickly to the favourite here into the night, number 5. Very good galloper, 11 starts, 6 wins, 2 placings. Looks very, very well for this, and it's having its second start down the way of going here in Melbourne, and looks a big show here. So that's the main ones there. We'll have to leave it because they're moving in pretty well at Morfordville for this 3-year-old Open. And Thanks a Bundle has been best back.
Away, and Lance O'Sullivan kicks Reign Supreme from Deegan, and wide out Arafata Chief being hunted out by Daryl Bradley to go to the lead. It was followed in the centre by Imperial Pompeii. They settled to the first 4 spots. They were followed about 2 lengths away then by Full Colonel, Darth Vader, Emir's trapped out 3. About 2 lengths further back behind those then on the inside, the grey is Vatican Heights, Torless ahead of it. About 2 to President Hughes. Getting back on the field is Mike, followed by King Dor, and Baloney goes back towards the tail end of the field, and the top weight is at the rear, Just Aqua. So into the back they run 1900 metres, and there's a good pace being set out in front. So way in the lead at the moment, Arafat Achieved. Daryl Bradley's got it sprinting. It's out by 4 lengths at the moment from Imperial Pompeii. Amir got to the rail, followed by Reign Supreme going up to join that on the outside, Deegan. A gap of 4 to Darth Vader. It's followed then on the inside by Full Colonel, and behind those runners Royal Reception, Torless and Vatican Heights. Over and behind Vatican Heights, 2 lengths away to President Hughes. Mike's 3 lengths away. King Dor joins that, a gap of 3. Baloney, he's certainly on a loose rein for for Michael, and as they race down the back, Just Aqua trying to close on them. 1,200 metres left to go, and as they race out of the back, Arafata Chief setting this hot pace, out by 3 lengths, Imperial Pompeii, followed by Amir, 2 to Deegan, back on the inside to Reign Supreme, 1,000 to go. Darth Vader's in a gap of 3, joined on the inside by Full Colonel. Torles trying to get closer, also Mike in the centre as they race their way down the side, and Baloney picking up ground around the outside. Vatican Heights and right with those President Hughes was followed deep on the outside as they run to the turn by King Door, and still the top weight Just Aqua in a gap of about 3 to 4 lengths as they run for the bend. Round the turn comes the leader, Arafata Chief. So Arafata Chief swings for home in front now from Imperial Pompeii. Amir is right there, Deegan, and coming out Reign Supreme. Lance O'Sullivan looks as though it's going pretty nicely for him, and further out Baloney put in this big run until Les is angling into it as well. Inside the 400 metres, Reign Supreme got to the front, Baloney, but Torles is gunning them down. They were followed after those by Mike getting the run up along the rail. Imperial Pompeii and Amir head the rest. At the distance post though, Torles goes up on the outside, Reign Supreme giving plenty, and Baloney the centre. Reign Supreme and Torles, they go towards the line. Reign Supreme and L.A. O'Sullivan, he gets the best out of it, and Baloney came back, Torles came to the end of it, and they were followed 3 lengths away by Mike. Hitting the rest of Vatican Heights and back of the inside Amir. A gap of 3 or 4, Just Aqua beat a number of them home after tailing the field of the turn. It was followed by Royal Reception, Darth Vader, King Door, Imperial Pompeii, Arafata Chief, and further back behind those when they crossed the line, Full Colonel Deegan, and pulling up first is President Hughes.
Reign Supreme and Lance O'Sullivan get home to win 6:42.50 over Baloney and Torles. So 3:14.4 after the running of that final event from New Zealand today, the Riccarton 8 Metro Trophy Group 3 race. Now, numbers and Adelaide. Naden, Neptune Island, thanks a bundle. And the winner to pay $281.20, $2.140, $10.30 Quinella, $43.20 the trifecta. And we'll get that 4th number for you with the first 4 shortly after the running of race 2 on the card. All right, this very good sprint field going to the start at Flemington over the 1100, the listed Hilton International Stakes, and Into the Night is the favourite. Let's get the late mail from Alf Matthews.
Race 5 on the program. Well, there's been good support on course for number 5, Into the Night. Its last start at Caulfield appeared to have every chance, but it was behind Rubitano. Has been good money on course for it at the moment, and you're getting a touch better on the tote at the moment. Number 2, Pembledon, also has come in for good support, shifted out about a point and has firmed up since, pretty much square across the board, expected to go very well. Very good performance last start, again out of the same race behind Rubitano, and did cover a little bit of ground on that particular occasion. Drawn nicely too with Patrick Payne in the saddle. Number 10, Prince of Play, a horse trained by Lee Curtis. Well, he certainly knows how to prepare horses for Melbourne racing over the spring. Its last start performance at Rose Hill was quite solid. May not have given the impression it was quite up to this sort of class, but there has been reasonable support for it on course, and you're shopping fairly well on the tote at the moment. Finally, number 1, Bomber Bill, opened up, got out. There has been a little bit of support late in betting. A little bit unders on the tote at the moment, and he's backing up again. He's had a pretty arduous campaign, but he continues to run well, Bomber Bill. 5, the late mail, Into the Night, ahead of 2, Pembledon, 10, Prince of Play, and 1, Bomber Bill.
All right, Alf. Yeah, it's a terrific race. Very, very good betting race too, and everyone will have their own thoughts, I suppose, as well here with this way the race is going to go. Some of them are being all going to the outside, and that might be the trend again here instead of splitting up. So Into the Night, the favourite in front of Pembledon and Bomber Bill, and the runners are about to move in there. Doomben transfixes the 100 raider over Outback Rose, Annie Levy and Sweet Ned. So it's 1, 4, 8 and 7, the ratings here in the third. And the favourite will be the toppy here, Transfix for Scott Galloway there at 2.50. But very good backing, as you can see, for Annie Levy. It's into $3.40. And Zach Purton already in very good form there today, with 1 win on the board. But the 2-year-old's going around here, and Annie Levy's had the 1 start, ran 6th at Doomben behind Shaddad's Prince that day, and looks a good chance today by Flying Spur. Bevan Laming trains. Transfix, of course, carrying the Cerise. Canny Lad colt. John Hawkes is a grey, actually, and ran third at Doomben last start, and a good second Eagle Farm prior to that. Could go one better today. But in the meantime, this very good field of sprinters are about to move in at Flemington for the Hilton International Stakes. The favourite is Into the Night, the Canberra sprinter, or the Sydney sider, so we'll probably claim him, and they are moving them in. Pembleton is the second elect. Pat Payne rides today. Bomber Bill, and always runs well in these kind of races. Arrogance, fresh. Taymana at 9:30. Mare's given a chance with Command Force, who's very, very good fresh horse too. And the other Sydney sider over the page here. And it is at $16 now, Prince of Play, for Corey Brown, who won the first race there today on Sure Bet. So far he's won, as has Peter Mertens on Rasun, Dan Nikolic on Damasceno. The previous went to Greg Charles on Coolaz. So
for Bomber Bill on track at Flemington for race 5. Into the Night now 281.60. Pembleton 410.160. Bomber Bill is 730, 240 a place. Correct weight Morfordville race 3 on 1, 6, 2 and 8.
Set for the Hilton now. Light blinking, suit the inside. Prince of Play fractures out in 10. Stalls back racing. Away in a good line too. One of the first out, Arrogance, making a beeline for the outside rail and beat them out clearly from Prince of Play. Into the Night further in now from Pembleton. They're followed further back by Command Force. Suit and Taymana out towards the centre. Bomber Bill beaten for speed, so's Command Force. As they come to the 800 metre mark now, and it's Arrogance, Pembleton up in the middle and Suit further in. 2 lengths further back Into the Night, quickly up fourth inside Command Force and Taymana. A length and a half Prince of Play. Satella getting back from Bomber Bill, and Little Dozer down inside the 600 metre mark. On the outside, Arrogance. After it is Pembleton. Pembleton going up and heading off Arrogance from Suit. Into the Night is now asked to go. Back fourth at the moment. 2 lengths Command Force. Then Taymana, Prince of Play back to the middle from Bomber Bill. Then Little Dozer and Sertalic, but Pembleton the leader. Down to the 200 metre mark. A length and a half Into the Night and Suit. Pembleton a length in front. Into the Night coming quickly now. Into the Night has gone up to Pembleton, Suit. Then Prince of Play, the favourite, takes the lead Into the Night from Suit, and Pembleton weakening. And Into the Night comes away. A length and a quarter Suit. A length and a half Pembleton third from Prince of Play. Little Dozer. A gap Taymana, Bomber Bill, Command Force, Sertalic. And a long gap after showing speed. Arrogance is last of all.
Number 5 Into the Night, Brett Preble, 290, 160. Number 3 Suit, a dividend of 5.10 for third 2 Pembleton, $1.60.
Number 5 Into the Night had a good run on the speed just behind them. Pembleton quickly got the upper hand and went to the front. And then under vigorous riding, Into the Night started to pick up. And this well-back favourite has gone home too well to win from number 3. And that is Suit. And third in after looking a good hope of winning down inside the 200. Pembleton getting a bit tired and just weakening into third placing in 1.3.1. Favourite takes the first leg of the quaddie here, number 5 Into the Night, ridden by Brett Preble. Been a bit of a quiet carnival for Brett, but we know what a force he is. Once he hits his straps, he's been the king of Flemington for the last couple of years over the 4 days. And he gave us a good ride just off the speed.
Lights flash 1100 for the Hilton. Racing Into the Night, jump reasonably. Pembleton looked to be a touch slow. Sertalic was away fast, and Arrogance speeding across to find the outside rail. Command Force had begun fast also, and as they settle down now, Pembleton gathering his legs as they go towards the 800 metre mark now, and over on the outside, Arrogance in the red blinkers with Pembleton and Suit in the bright pink are the 3 leaders. Into the Night directly behind them, followed by Command Force, and further back in the field then Prince of Play and Sertalic. Bomber Bill has got well